All right, guys, back for number 6. A lot of parts of this are really doable. The last part is pretty tough. So it says, here's a curve, show that the derivative is equal to this. So I'm going to do implicit differentiation. I'm going to think of this as -4 times a quantity x, y. So I'm going to do every x normal, tag every y with a d every time I take the derivative of y with a y prime. So I'll get 4x plus 6y, y prime, minus 4, so x, y would be a product rule. Derivative of the first is 1 times the second plus the first times the derivative of the second, which we're taking as a y prime. Derivative of 36 is 0, so I get 4x plus 6y, y prime, minus 4y minus 4x, y prime equals 0. Keep the y primes over here. So 6y, y prime minus 4x, y prime equals 4y minus 4x. Then I divide, so I get y prime. I factor it out and divide, so I get 4y minus 4x over 6y minus 4x. If I divide everything by 2, I get what they gave me. Next exercise, find the slope of the tangential end of the curve at each point where x equals 6. So normally having x equals 6 would be enough. But since our slope has a y and an x, I gotta go plug that x equals 6 into the original equation. If I do that, I get, 72 plus 3y squared minus 24y equals 36. If I put that in order, I've got 3y squared minus 24y plus 36 equals 0. If I divide everybody by 3, I got y squared minus 8y plus 12 equals 0. If I factor that, I get a y minus 6 and a y minus 2. So I get the points, so y equals 2 and 6. So I get the point 6 comma 6, and I get the point 6 comma 2. So at 6, 6, if I were to plug a 6, 6 into this, I get 0 over 6. So y prime equals 0 over 6 or 0. If I plug the point 6, 2 in, so on top I get 8 minus 24. On the bottom I get 12 minus 24, so I get negative 16 over negative 12, which is 4/3. Just verifying that. Okay, looks good. It says find the positive value of x at which the curve has a vertical tangent line. So vertical tangent line means slope is undefined. Horizontal tangent line means slope is 0. So if this slope is going to be undefined, we're going to start by setting 3y minus 2x equal to 0. Can't solve this on its own, but I can get that y is equal to 2/3 of an x. So I'm going to take that value and I'm going to plug back into the original equation. So I'm going to get 2x squared plus 3 times 2/3 x squared minus 4x times 2/3 x equals 36. So I plugged a y into the original equation. So I get 2x squared. This would be 4/9, so when you multiply that by 3, you get 4/3 x squared, and then I get 8/3 x squared equals 36. So if I think of this as 6/3, 10/3, 2/3 x squared equals 36, multiplied by 3 is 108, so x squared equals 54. So x would equal plus or minus root 54, but they only want the positive, so we'll take root 54, or if you prefer 3√6, either one's fine. All right, we're on this last one here, which you can see that I did once, and I made one tiny mistake, and I couldn't find it on the video, and then I freaked out and just turned it off and started over, so yay me. It says, okay, so let x and y be functions that are related by this. At time t equals 1, the value of x is 2, the value of y is -2, and dy dt is 4. Find the value of dx dt. So this is a related rate. This is a pretty tough problem. None of you know what it is, but a lot of times the difficulty of the AP exam is not knowing exactly what's being asked. So what's being asked, I can talk. Dy dt equals 4, so I want to know what dx dt equals. And that's when x equals 2 and y equals -2. So I'm going to start with this equation, 2x squared plus 3y squared minus 4 times xy equals 36. And I'm going to tag everything this time because we're doing derivatives with respect to time. So I get 4x dx dt plus 6y dy dt minus 4 times product rule says dx dt y plus x dy dt. And that all equals 0. So now I'm going to plug in everything I know. So x is 2, so this is 8 dx dt. Y is negative 2, so this is minus 12. And it's dy dt, so dy dt is equal to 4. And then I get minus 4, so dx dt times y. So y is negative 2, so I'll get plus 8 dx dt. And then I'll get minus x is 2, dy dt is 4, so we'll get what? Minus 32 equals 0. So I get 8 and 8 gives me 16 dx dt's. This is a negative 48. That's a negative 32. If I combine those, I get 80. Negative 80. If I add those to the other side, I get 80. So dx dt equals 5 when t equals 1. Yay, I did it. My mind is not working right this morning, so thanks, guys. I'll have these uploaded in a minute.